All right, welcome to this week. We're talking about track changes. So this is going to be an easy week for some of you, actually, anyway. Some of you are already very familiar with track changes. You use it a lot at work, and so you've just been putting into your assignments as a matter of course, and that's great. Right on. So enjoy having just a review this week. Even though people are familiar with it, I do a whole unit on this because what I found teaching this class and also in my sections of 2311 is that a lot of people, even though they've track changes has been a feature of Word since 2007, possibly before that. But the point is, it's been around for a while, but people who use Word in their day-to-day lives just aren't aware of it and aren't aware of how to use it. But it's really useful. So I'm going to click in the Review tab, and I'm just going to show you some of the things you can do. Tracking changes is important because many documents go through multiple iterations before they're really, ready to be put up, be published, be, sent out to stockholders, to readers, whatever. So if you are doing a lot of changes, a lot of heavy revisions, honestly, sometimes it's very normal that you'll make some changes and you realize, no, I didn't want to do that. I want to go back to 2 versions ago. But if you, and one thing I'll recommend is that you should always be saving a different version of your file for every substantial revision you make. I think that's just a very good practice, just to have lots of different versions available. However, not everyone does that, and even if you are doing that, Word's track changes feature makes it easier to just see what you're doing, and therefore, if you change your mind, it is easy to revert those changes. So being able to visually see what you're doing and then be able to undo it easily is very important. So we're going to skip over the standard proofing tools. Spelling check is turned on automatically, and as I've mentioned, is not entirely perfect, but pretty good. So here we don't have, and I'll get to the comment section in a second, but here we've got track changes. So track changes currently is not turned on. So we've got to turn on, it's blue. In 2010 it's gold. Here it's blue. You can also say you're in a company and you're working with a lot of people and you want to ensure that track changes stays on. Because it won't always be on. If you send it to a colleague for revision and they don't have track changes just on their computer, it might turn itself off. So this will lock track changes to your document, and if someone wants to turn it off, they have to have a password. So it's good if you're working with a lot of people to ensure that all the changes stay tracked. You can also, there are reviewing panes. So Word this one's horizontal. I prefer the vertical one personally. So it's going to show my changes in the document, but it's also, some people also like to have this reviewing pane in the side. To me it takes up a lot of space, but it's good for you to have it, or at least to know what it is and what it does. This show markup, I'm just ensuring that this is, we're going to see comments and insertions and deletions and formatting. Now we've got this at the top. So simple markup is sort of new to 2010. In 2013, new to 2013. In 2010, it was just the default to show everything on the page in different colors and all that. A simple markup is more standard to 2013, and it doesn't do that. It's not bad. It just makes some of your changes less easy to see, and some people prefer that. They don't like the way a heavily revised track change document looks. I actually prefer it, so I'm going to select all markup. And one other thing I want to point out is that if you hit this little arrow down in the corner, it'll set up your, again, ensuring that we're seeing everything we want to be seeing. And then you can also change the colors you use for your changes. So the defaults are red and blue. As someone who's worked as an editor and is sensitive to the fact that a lot of people don't like red text, I have my defaults are blue and green. So I went in and changed those. So what can we do now that our track changes is on? What are we doing? We can add text. I'll actually do one real quick. I'll switch to simple markup real quick. So you can see that this text I added and this text I'm adding here, they're the exact same color. we just see these little red lines down the margin. And that works for some people. They prefer it. I really like to be able to see everything. So I have all markup. You can also delete things. Now, and I'm going to be switching back and forth just so you can see the differences. See, I went to simple markup, and the deleted text, it shows up in the revision pane, but that crossed out text isn't here, it's just gone. So, again, I delete it here, and it's just gone. But when I switch to all markup, see, then it appears in color, crossed out, so you can see that it was there and it was deleted. And I like this because having that very visual component, yeah, it takes up space and it can get really messy. I just like being able to see everything. I'm just one of those people. You could even have it set up to no markup at all. I would not recommend that. I feel like that really sort of defeats the point of track changes. It makes it really really difficult to figure out where everything is. But again, try it on your own experiment. Anyway, so we've added text, we've deleted text. I can cut, so it shows it as deleted, and then I can paste. And so you notice a lot of, there's, different sort of colors and formats for different types of additions and changes. So anything new is blue and underlined. I've got light green and struck through for a deletion, dark green and double struck through for a cut. Paste is dark green with a, looks like a triple underline. No, it's a double underline. I'm just old, can't see. So you can do things, and then it's not limited to adding or moving around text. Oh, you can also copy. So I just hit Control C there, and I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom. And this is turning out, and so I'm adding this pasted text is blue and underlined. It's turning out bold because of just my personal default settings in Word. That's not going to happen when you do it. I just have Word configured in a way that works for me. That's just going to make that happen. So don't worry about that. That's just what my personal defaults are set to. But anyway, so you can say, I would like this paragraph to be center aligned. And now so this is different from adding, now we're doing things with formatting, just not adding and deleting text. So it shows the text in the new configuration with this little line in the sidebar. And we have a little comment here that's tells us what happened. You can turn those off. So if I went into show markup, balloons, and unselected this, it would not show, or unselected this, or selected show all revisions inline. Then I would not see these balloons. Again, I like the balloons, not a lot of people do. They're pretty useful. Anyway, so I've centered that one. I would like to indent this one. And again, we can see over here, there's that indent comment. Let's see, I would like to make this bold, and so we can see it's made bold. I would like this italicized, and hey, oh, I underlined it, but okay, formatted underline. So yeah, you can't really actually see the underline because of the spell checker, but I underlined it. Here I'm going to italicize. I'm going to make this one bigger. So you can see these comments as I change the formatting going up. I would like to make this purple. Oop, yeah, there we go. Formatted font color purple. So, and I mean, pretty much any change you're going to make to this is going to show up in track changes. And if you haven't done it before, it shows everything. So what do I do with all this stuff now that I've made it? well, now it's time. So you've gone through, you've done your draft, you've done your changes, you've maybe had some dinner or slept on it, whatever. You're coming back, and you're now deciding whether these changes are all things you want to make. You just go to where the change is, and then you can accept or reject. And that's why I actually prefer all markup versus the simple markup or the no markup, is that when you're going in and making the changes, sometimes these bars on the side that show the changes, sometimes they just don't quite cut it in terms of really identifying. Like, say you've added a bunch of text, you may not entirely be sure where that text is, and it's hard to find to accept or reject, or doing small things with punctuation. That can be annoying. I'm just doing right-click, accept, and reject one by one. You can also work up here. So I'm going to accept this one, and then it automatically takes me to the next one. I'm going to just reject this one. And now it gives me a conflict dialog, so I have to decide if I want to keep it in the original. So since I moved the text, since I cut and pasted the exact text, it's giving me a conflict. It's like you can't have this cut and pasted at the same time. So I have to decide whether I actually want to make that change. Now I'm just gonna keep the new location text there. You can also navigate up here between previous and next, and that's a good way to make sure you're hitting everything. You can also, if you click down here, you can accept and move next, accept this change. Again, I just like the right click. You can also accept all changes and accept all changes and stop tracking. Same with rejection. You can reject all changes and reject all changes and stop tracking. I generally caution against avoiding, I generally say avoid accepting and rejecting all changes. You never know. It just, to me, accepting all or rejecting all wholeheartedly, unless it's some sort of extreme circumstance where you need to do it. That to me is that sets you up for a situation in which mistakes are just going to happen, whether you want them to or not. So as you can see, I can just go and accept and reject the changes, and as you can see, these all stay where they are. So the thing is, if I save this document and close it out, those changes are going to show up the next time I open the document. So I'll show you. I'll save it. Sure, I'll save it on my OneDrive. Sure. Now my computer's being slow. I'll just save it to my desktop. So I'm gonna close this whole thing out. There's my filler text generator. So now I'm going to open this again. It's like, welcome back. And you can see the changes that I hadn't accepted or rejected yet are still all there. So those will stay until you make them go away. My review pane hasn't stayed. There is I don't like that to just sort of be there as a matter of course. There's a way to set it up so you can. So any changes you haven't made are going to show up unless you accept or reject them. Comments. Now comments are good. Say there's a change you want to make, there's a change you think should be made, but you're not sure how it should be made, or you're not sure the person is going to be on board with that, or you just have a question. You can go highlight. You can hit new comment, or you can hit Control-Alt-M. It's going to show you. Let's see. So you can ask a question. Do we need a citation here? And just highlight. So there I hit Control-Alt-M. Consider reformatting. You can even leave like little, let's say you're, you can just say whatever you want to say. These are just little comments to have a conversation. What's really cool about 2013 is you can actually have, this is not going to work. So I clicked on this here. If you send this to another user, they can actually comment back. But the point is, in 2013, this is very new. It's designed so these comments will just sort of link together. And you know, in 2010, you could, you know, get around that. But here, they've set up the comments so it's designed to actually have a dialogue with a colleague that you're collaborating with, and I think that's just awesome. Now, say you're done with the comment, you can delete. You can delete all, so you can delete up from here, or you can right-click. You can also right-click to reply. I just clicked on that little icon up here. You can right-click to reply. So you can delete the comment, or this is really cool in 2013, you can mark the comment as done. So say you got the citation but you don't want to delete the comment because you want the person to know, no, you just didn't delete it. You can just go mark it as done. So it's there. So then you'd have to actually delete it to make it go away. But I really love, actually, I don't love everything about Word. I love what they've done with the comment feature in 2013. I think they've done some really good stuff to facilitate collaboration. And hey, look, in your review pane, you can see all of the comments here. And the deleted comment is obviously not still here, but the ones that were marked as done but are still there are still there. So that's the basics of track changes, and I hope if this was new to you, it really did help. Let me know again if you have questions, and have a